Hello everyone, my name is Alim and I'm from Brunei Darussalam. So for today, I would like to talk about environmental changes and human health. In Brunei, the growing concern with climate change is the increase in temperature and rate of rainfall. So it poses a few threats on our health. For example, increase in vector-borne diseases such as Zika, malaria or dengue. And adding on, frequent flooding also causes various injuries and at the same time affecting our food and water supply. So action really needs to be done in order to combat this problem.
And we can start simple. For example, reducing use of plastic, where we can use recycled bag instead of plastic bag. And in Brunei, we have a no plastic bag policy in supermarket, which has been implemented since the year 2018. And that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Nat. I'm from Cambodia. Let's do a challenge together to reduce the use of plastic and try to use eco-friendly products instead. The fact that our school has provided many water fountains around the campus indicates that the school is trying to create an eco-friendly environment, and it's our role as youth to start using them. Besides having water fountains, local businesses such as cafe shop also trying to replace plastic cup with paper cup instead. These small actions of ours can make a huge differences in our environment.
This video was made for our common awareness of the current situation, specifically carbon emission.
Carbon produced by human activities and the result will have a negative impact in our life on Earth, such as drought and reduced source of clean water, extreme weather and natural disaster, and various other natural damage. Presidential Regulation Number 98
to reduce carbon footprint in our daily life while inviting the surrounders participate in this. We can do.
Get in the habit of saving energy, bring a drink and don't forget to use public transportation. If we don't do anything today, then the big change will be more real to come, whether you like it or not.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to use reusable containers instead of disposable containers to take out coffee and cake from cafe. I ordered drink and cake and asked cafe staff to put them in the containers I prepared. I could get a discount for using reusable container. I am ready to go back home and enjoy the dessert. Try use reusable containers. This could be a small but definite step for net zero future.
Hello everyone, I participated in the Net Zero Challenge. I chose not to have disposable chopsticks. I brought reusable container and asked them to use it by taking out food with reusable container. I could contribute to net zero future. For a week, I participated on this challenge, small but definite effort for the net zero.
Hello, in my own country we discuss about improvement carbon neutrality and law of youth, so we join challenge together.
So hi guys, I am at the backyard of my house. Today I'd like to do the AKYS Net Zero Challenge. I'll be planting a tree, a lychee tree. Replant a tree can help to restore the oxygen and can help to absorb the carbon dioxide that have been released from the human activities.
the U.S. New country, under the heading of implementation of carbon neutrality and the rule of view, we were introduced to challenges that can be implemented, cover things in the daily lives of human beings. So let's get started. The process of creating plastic emits huge amount of carbon dioxide. I have the best way to reduce using plastic. Use your own bottle. Wouldn't it be nice to have your own bottle instead of buying plastic bottles or plastic cups? Let's reduce using plastic, which also reduces carbon emission. Next one, planting trees is one of the most effective ways to reduce carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Trees provide many benefits to us every day. Let's work together and reduce our carbon footprint by planting trees. These challenges are very easy and simple, right? Let's try with me. After net zero, move towards a better future.
Mabuhay! Kumusta? I'm Angel from the Philippines and we have one question for you. How long do you use gadgets every day? A 2020 study revealed that an average person uses at least 8 hours of technology a day. Under the future of eco-friendly and green technology, that's not very eco-friendly. As the youth from the Philippines, we challenge you to use a gadget only 1 hour a day. Does it seem difficult? For us in the Philippines, it's very important for us to take a break from using gadgets because we spend most of our time in online classes. This benefits both our health and our environment. By taking time off gadgets, we use this time to read a book, cook, exercise, play with pets, sleep. Easy, right? The challenge towards carbon zero starts now.
Hello everyone, welcome to my vlog. So today I'll be talking about green and eco-friendly technology in Singapore. So Singapore is a very small country with very little land and almost no natural resources. The only piece of green technology that will be viable for us to achieve carbon neutrality will be solar technology. However, existing solar cells are not very efficient at achieving this goal. Therefore, the Solar Energy Research Institute of Singapore, or SERIS, has come up with a new type of solar panel called the monopoly cell, which will be able to achieve very high cell efficiency. I have done my part to raise awareness of this solar cell and hopefully get more research funding. Now it's your turn to do your part.
Eating plant as the main food will help with the sustainable of food at the world, according to SDG 2, 12, and 15. Ta-da! This is plant-based black pepper chicken. Let's test. Look at this juicy it is. Ending with almond milk. The smell and taste are not familiar. Have to adjust a little, but I like it. So for today, don't forget to allocate at least 1 day a week to eat plant-based food. Bye bye.
Good morning guys, I am a delegate from Vietnam and today I'm gonna show you one way to implement carbon neutrality, that is planting more trees. As you can see, I am putting the salt into the newly planted tree and you know, this job is kinda fascinating. Planting trees to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide released into the air is one of the most effective methods to implement carbon neutrality. So let's try this if you can.
Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all our summit delegates. And welcome to the closing ceremony of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit. And before we begin, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jessica Lee, and I'll be given the honor of being your MC today. 네, 여러분 먼저 회의식을 시작하기 전에
Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jessica Lee, and I've been given the honor of being your MC for the 4-day-long summit. It's very nice to meet you.
Participation today, and thank you for all of our participants who are joining us both online and offline. The video that we just watched together was a special online challenge, an online campaign to encourage young generation to take simple steps towards a green and bright future. And before we begin the closing ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we give a big round of applause to all of our youth who worked very hard to participate their idea in their daily life. Let's give a big round of applause to ourselves. Thank you very much. The closing ceremony of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit is being live streamed online. And for those of you who are watching our closing ceremony on YouTube platform, we have prepared a special event, which is a streaming capture event. And please find more details on the appeal screen. And we ask for your deep understanding that this online event is only available for those who are joining us here in Korea. But once again, thank you to all of our participants from abroad as well. Thank you. From the pre-discussion to now, we have been together for over a month, and I believe every group had a very meaningful and fruitful discussion. And today, we also have distinguished guests joining us here at the site. Now, I'd like to introduce them. So once I mention their names, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished guests. First and foremost, please join me in welcoming Her Excellency Kim Hyun-suk, a Minister of Gender Equality and Family of the Republic of Korea. Thank you, Minister, for gracing this closing ceremony. And next, Ms. Han Mi-young, Acting President of the National Council of Youth Organizations in Korea. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time today. Also, delegates from ASEAN states joined us online, as you can see on the screen. And here at the venue, we're joined by Korean delegates. So now we would like to greet each other. Please wave your hand. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you so much. With that, without further ado, let us commence the closing ceremony of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit. The closing ceremony contains a closing video that shows the highlights of the summit presentations and delivery of recommendations, award for outstanding participants, farewell speeches, closing remarks, and a special music video with our participants. So now it's time to look back on all discussions and activities that our delegates shared together. So now let's turn your attention to the screen and remember the moment that we've shared together. So let's watch the screen with a big hand. Thank you very much for sharing precious moment. And that was quite a short video to contain all of our works, discussions, and friendship. But I could feel that we've been together with same passion and idea. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's move on to the recommendation speech made based on the group discussions. The recommendation of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit was made based on the discussions on 5 different topics. In order to declare the final recommendation on the topic 1, entitled Implementation of Carbon Neutrality and the Role of Youth, please allow me to introduce the delegate from Brunei, Ms. Siti Nur Hazima binti Nur Fadila. So now let's turn your attention to the screen.
Clause 1. Promote the reduction of food waste and support consumers to eat more sustainable food, encouraging local food product use and avoiding accumulating food waste. Clause 2. Recommends ASEAN-Korea use as well as to encourage each nation's people to minimize greenhouse gas emissions from unsustainable electricity usage on unused lightings, air conditioning, and other gadgets that require larger electricity supply. Clause 3. Encourage the 5R method, which are refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. Clause 3.1 recommends ASEAN-Korea use to promote circular economic principles in combating the explosive growth of the fast fashion industry and general industry, such as donating more unused clothes for upcycling, recycling, and supporting charity programs. Promoting the essence of thrifting in lowering carbon footprints on fashion, and introducing a refilling system in every company that sells drinks and personal care products in order to reduce the use of plastic in our daily life. Clause 4 urges ASEAN-Korea youth to implement actionable capacity building projects to promote a carbon-neutral lifestyle in daily life through diverse activities such as, but not limited to, webinars, social media, and campaigns. In addition, the youth can utilize their creativity to contribute in the implementation, while governments can provide more opportunity to share ideas about it. Clause 5. Noting with deep concern with unsustainable lifestyle growing in ASEAN, Korean member states and calls for more actionable youth-led initiatives on both individual and community level to promote carbon neutrality in ASEAN-Korea member states driven by youth. Clause 6. Encourage the collaboration between ASEAN-Korea youth and each nation's government, non-government toward environment and carbon neutrality. Clause 6.1. The usage of carbon inventory reporting system for each country to indicate the exact amount of greenhouse gas emissions emitted and take initiative to act accordingly. This can be done by creating ASEAN Data Bank. Clause 6.2 explores the competent collaboration between ASEAN-Korea youth to collaborate with government stakeholders to promote decision-making, such as supporting renewable energy, investing more on youth empowerment, awareness projects led by youth, and circular economy business models. That concludes the recommendation from Group 1. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, to declare the final recommendation on the second topic, understanding environmental justice and equal environmental rights, let's meet the delegate from Indonesia, Ms. Veronica. So now let's meet her onto the screen.
On the first cause, aware of the lack, uninformed understanding of the concept environmental justice in ASEAN and Republic of Korea, which causes ineffective action against environmental injustice. Move on to the second statement. Alarmed by the apparent deficiencies of regulations and framework on the assurance regarding the protection of environmental rights, which consequently causes environmental injustice and inequality of environmental rights. Third, analyzing with deep concern that the carbon emission gap is expanding between the poor, underprivileged, and middle to higher income communities who are equally obliged to protect the environment regardless of their economic status. Continuing to the fourth statement, demands that the states enact comprehensive laws and procedural regulation in the interest of environmental justice, including monetary incentive for environmental acts and accountable prioritization of sustainable development over economic interests, comprehensive periodic environmental analysis, and increasing government unilateral and multilateral engagement on the issue of environmental justice, both nationally and internationally. Continue to the fifth statement, encourage the non-governmental organization to promote the definition and concept of environmental rights and justice. Thus, advocating this concept and definition to the government stakeholder to be translated into formal regulation to protect environmental rights and justice. Regarding to clause 6, recommends incorporating environmental justice concepts and definition into mandatory national educational curriculum in formal education institutions, as it is crucial to raise awareness, the capacity, and advocacy for the youth aspirational leaders in the society. Lastly, endorses active participation and inclusivity of youth in the issue of environmental justice in Asian Republic of Korea to realize a more inclusive and responsible carbon neutral society.
Thank you very much. With that, to share the final recommendation on the theme of the future of eco-friendly and green technology, now please allow me to introduce the delegate from Singapore, Mr. Tan Hong Kai. So let's turn your attention to the screen.
First, we reaffirm the commitment of ASEAN member states and the Republic of Korea to deepen cooperation in green and sustainable infrastructure and technology, as stated in the ASEAN Republic of Korea Plan of Action to implement the Joint Vision Statement for Peace, Prosperity and Partnership 2021 to 2025. Second, we will strengthen interest and understanding in environmental issues, sustainable development, and eco-friendly and green technology, by striving to stay up to date with the latest advancements and developments in these domains, committing to educating and mentoring others on the importance of these views, serving as a bridge between the older and younger generations and between governments and local communities in communicating this information, and empowering others to take an interest in and deepen knowledge of these topics. Third, we call upon youths to utilize and adopt eco-friendly and green technologies in daily living, such as energy saving and smart home appliances, and environmentally friendly transportation modes. Fourth, we advise youths to take a stand against environmentally unsustainable corporate practices by reducing consumption of such goods and services. Fifth, we will drive youth entrepreneurship, social innovation, and scientific research in the field of eco-friendly and green technology, including encouraging, spearheading, and participating in the development of ground-up environmental initiatives, establishing sustainability-related startups, and undertaking active involvement in civil society, social enterprises, advocacy groups, and environmental organizations through volunteering or employment. 6. We urge youths to actively explore opportunities to participate in local, national, regional, and global environment-related forums, engage in and contribute to public policy discourse as agents of change, and advocate for strong and progressive public policies in support of research, development, adoption, and deployment of eco-friendly and green technologies. 7. We encourage fellow youth counterparts in the ASEAN-Korea region to enhance mutual interaction with each other and develop joint partnerships in the field of eco-friendly and green technology, such as the sharing of information through dialogues and discussions, the exchange of best practices through study visits and capacity building programs, and the development of collaborative solutions through cross-border projects and transboundary initiatives.
Thank you so much for sharing your idea. Thank you. And next, to declare the final recommendation regarding environmental change and human health, this time let's have the delegate from Thailand, Mr. Iktana Olsurawat. So let's get your attention to the screen.
First, reaffirms the importance of cooperation of ASEAN and Republic of Korea, countries, and demands to achieve carbon neutrality goals by 2050 by following the recommendations listed below. Subclause A demands the increase of usage of renewable energy, such as solar or wind power, instead of coal and fuel, which are most responsible for carbon emission. Next, highly recommends the usage of technology such as CCUS or carbon capture, utilization, and storage in order to compensate existing emitted greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide, and accomplish the goal of net zero emissions. Followed by urges governments of Asian and Korean countries' role to invest in national medical healthcare system and local healthcare systems to make healthcare accessible to all by providing an accessible healthcare in the community and check up to vulnerable populations under severe health-harming climate change impacts. So next, encourage the governments of ASEAN and Korean countries to strengthen respective economies, collaborate in terms of utilizing natural resources and reversing environmental exploitation to sustain the green environment. And the last but not least, highlights the importance of government and NGOs' role to encourage youth actions as global citizens, since government action and youth support are crucial when it comes to achieving net zero and carbon neutrality, and the quality of life of people also. The actions for youth include but not limited to: first, spread awareness for calling actions at public forum to express their views. Second, volunteer at healthcare providers or clinics. And lastly, launch campaigns or projects, engage with organizations, NGOs, or government sector to cooperate between youth and government.
Thank you so much for sharing the achievements made for 4 days. And we've listened to the recommendations made by their groups respectively. And to declare the final recommendation and the fifth theme of the summit entitled Achievement of SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals and Youth Participation. Now please allow me to invite to the stage the delegate from Korea, Ms. Park Kyung-jin, with a big hand.
Topic 5, Achievements of SDGs and Youth Participation. Clause 1, aware of the need to further strengthen and emphasize the ASEAN-Korea partnerships by engaging multiple stakeholders through the concept of the whole nation approach through promoting youth participation and grassroots level initiatives. Clause 2, calls for incorporating and standardizing the awareness of SDGs both through formal and informal education, such as educational institutions and NGOs through realization of and referral to the SDG 4, quality education, SDG 10, reduced inequalities, and SDG 17, partnership for the goals. Clause 3 recommends raising the awareness of solidarity between ASEAN-Korea with programs such as webinars, summits, youth educational programs like the ASEAN-Korea Future-Oriented Youth Exchange Program. Clause 4 encourages youth to participate in the process of forming environmental policies by showing their passion through activities such as Fridays for Future, a youth-led and organized movement which students across the world are actively joining. Clause 5 promote and encourage the youth to participate in the green initiatives. The initiatives include 4 categories that cover all of the SDG goals: green education, green manufacturing, green technology, and green partnership. And finally, Clause 6 benchmark and further develop the UN climate change application for ASEAN-Korea youth to join and communicate regarding the state and current environmental issues. Expected outcomes are, first, to have effective solutions drawn from ASEAN-Korea youth cooperation, and second, to raise support for environmental causes in the form of climate change fundraising initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Park. Please remain on the stage. I believe that the youth in this summit will become the future leaders of both ASEAN and Korea to solve climate change issues. Thank you once again. Now, we would like to invite Her Excellency Kim Hyun-suk, Minister of the Gender Equality and Family of the Republic of Korea, to receive the letter of recommendation of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit. 네, 장관님께서 직접 권고문을 무대로 모시겠습니다. Please. And now, our representative will hand the letter of recommendation of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit. So let's give a big hand. Thank you so much. 네, 기념사진 촬영 함께 진행을 하도록 하겠습니다. 장관님, 저희
We are going to take a photo to commemorate this meaningful moment.
It's a meaningful occasion. Let's look at the camera in front of you. 자, 앞쪽에 카메라 보시고 함께 사진 촬영하겠습니다. 여러분 다시 한번 큰 박수로 축하해 주세요.
Would you please give them one more round of applause?
기다려 주시기 바랍니다.
Would you please stay on the stage?
On behalf of all summit delegates, as a representative, the Korean nation leader will be awarded with a certificate of participation. So now please join me in welcoming Mr. Soa-jo onto the stage. Please give a big round of applause. Certificate of participation. This is to certify that Soa-jo has successfully participated in the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit hosted from August 9th to August 12th, 2022. Kim Hyun-suk, Minister of Gender Equality and Family of the Republic of Korea. Congratulations, and let's give a big hand. 네, 저희 장관님께서 직접 인증.
The minister is delivering the certificate, and we will now have a short photo session to commemorate this very special moment.
With our initials on it, so let's take a photo with our pencil case and the certificate. So let's look at the camera once again. Let's give a big round of applause once again. Thank you. And as you can see on the screen, we are joined by nation leaders with a photo. Thank you. Yes. Please go to the seat. 네, 장관님 저희 마지막 순서를 위해서 잠시만 무대에 기다려 주시고요.
Will the minister please remain on the stage?
Which will be delivered to the youth departments of each ASEAN nations and will make a greater impact. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the closing remarks delivered by Her Excellency Kim Hyun-suk, the Minister of Gender Equality and Family of the Republic of Korea. Let's welcome her with a big round of applause once again.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Hyun-suk. I'm Minister of Gender Equality and Family. And congratulations on the successful completion of ASEAN-Korean Summit. I'd like to give my special applause to all young representatives of ASEAN and Korean countries who are the leaders of the summit. I'm so proud that you came up with the recommendations on the global issue of a climate crisis. Despite the restrictions that we had, since all the meetings were online, you presented such wonderful outcome, which I believe was a result of your passion and active engagement. Thank you so much. Once you act, you will impress all the others, who in turn will act following your footstep. That will surely bring us, ASEAN and Korea, to a better future. Christine Lagarde, the first female president of the International Monetary Fund, said preventing climate change requires joint effort. That means that it's our shared duty and it's not too late. We are not late yet. This is because you have already taken the first step to the joint effort in order to fulfill our shared duty. You can take pride in the fact that we are here together at the meaningful moment or starting point as leaders. I hope that you will continue to take further steps in the future so that you can make changes and impact others in the world going beyond ASEAN and Korea. We, the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, will support you along the way. Last but not least, we believe that what you have started will continue to grow, so your network with others that you have right now here will help solidify the relations among our countries. I hope that your experience at ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit remain meaningful and unforgettable memory to you. And we'd love to see you again next year, and hopefully in person, face to face. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you so much for your wonderful speech. Would you please give her one more round of applause?
And thank you for joining us today here in person. Thank you. And once again, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all of our summit delegates for their work. And next, for the last speech, we would like to invite to the stage Korean leader, Mr. Suajo, in order to deliver his farewell speech. So let's welcome him onto the stage with a big hand.
Hi everyone, dear fellow AKYS delegates, and everyone who is joining us this afternoon. My name is Sua Cho, a Korean nation leader of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit, and I'm honored to speak on behalf of our fellow delegates. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Minister of Gender Equality and Family, Mr. Kim Hyun-suk, and the Acting President of the National Council of Youth Organization in Korea, President Han Mi-young, for administrating this special event for us. Carrying on, I would like to note the achievements we have made during this Youth Summit over the past few days. We have successfully collaborated with one another in the alertness of the global climate change and came together to co-draft high-level recommendations as the youth representative of ASEAN and Korea regarding the issue of carbon neutrality, environmental justice, green technology, environmental impacts on human health, and youth SDGs achievements. This multilateral collaboration is crucial as a hindrance of global climate change, and the mission for net zero can only be achieved through global cooperation. And I am honored to have been a part of these young, intelligent youth's effort to build a greener future. Our recommendations are not a part of a simple activity, but it represents the voice of the youth towards the government, multinational institutions, and cooperations in the global responsibility for environmental issues. Furthermore, it will also be the point of departure for our future journey as global leaders who collaborated with one another to build a better and greener ASEAN-Korea community in the future. We will utilize what we have learned from this summit to become active action takers for a better global community. Lastly, it's sad to say, but in every hello, there's a goodbye, and the time has come for us to say farewell to one another. I personally was honored to have spent the past few days with all of you. I would like to note that the end of the summit does not mean that we will forget the connections that we have made with one another during the summit and casually go back to our normal daily lives. There's actually a saying in Korea that goes, 만남은 인연이고 관계는 노력이다. This directly translates into, encounters and meetings are made by destiny, but relationships are kept through efforts. I hope we can all put effort to continue and maintain the networks and relationships that we have built through this event. I hope to see you guys in the future and challenge everyone to promise to greet one another with a big welcome in the future when we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your meaningful word. Thank you. And once again, thank you to all delegates from ASEAN member states and Korea. We have prepared a small but very special gift for all of you. Each participant will receive the certificate of participation, a diary with the final recommendation and group brochures, a fountain pen with their names on it, and a backpack. And as I mentioned earlier, our nation leaders and group leaders will receive a pencil case with summit initials on it. And we will deliver after the summit. Once again, thank you for your participation. Next, we will have a very special music video prepared by our summit delegates. They sang the song titled "You've Got a Friend in Me," the song by Randy Newman from the Toy Stories cartoon. The song is about having a friend that is there for you, and your friend will help you and guide you through life when there are some tough times. So I believe the friends that you have made during our summit will help you and support you from now on. And ladies and gentlemen, while enjoying this music video, please join us clapping and watch this video. Let's get your attention to the screen with a big hand.
You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me.
When the road is ahead and you're miles and miles from nice warm bed, it's just remember what your trouble has. For you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
You've got troubles, I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, see it through. 'Cause you've got a friend in me.
You've got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too. Maybe none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Let's give a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. You've got a friend in me, and our friendship will never die. As this line means, I hope you had a great and special experience with us through this 4-day-long summit. And now for the last part of this closing ceremony, we would like to have a photo all together with our online participants and offline participants. So now why don't we make our own heart? It can be finger heart or arm heart or big heart. Let's look at the camera. 네, 먼저 첫 번째 기념사진 촬영은 하트를 한번 만들면서 진행해보면 어떨까 합니다. 네, 좌석에 앉아 계신
Everyone, please make hearts. It can be a small hearts with your fingers, a big heart with your arms, whatever it may be. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. And this time, let's make a promise pose. 네, 이번에는요, 저희가 권고문에 작성한 모든 것들을 꼭 실행하겠다.
We will take a photo to promise to bring to life all the recommendations that we have made during this summit. So please make a promise pose with your fingers.
Recommendations that we have made together. Let's look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Thank you. And please don't forget that this promise means not only that we have to put our recommendations into practice, but also to continue our cooperation and friendship. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the closing ceremony of the 2022 ASEAN-Korea Youth Summit. Before saying goodbye, I'd like to announce that we have a bridging program as well. Summit staff will also contact you and give you some instruction and information very soon. And for those who participate in our summit, please submit the post-summit survey. The link will be given via the chat room that you're in. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for your participation and passionate work and your interest until the very end. We hope to meet you again next year in person as our minister delivered. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jessica Lee, and it was my great honor and privilege to be your MC for this meaningful occasion. Please take care, stay safe, and goodbye. Thank you very much.